H. Kharkiv, Ukraine. Assalamu alaikum. There's a brother who constantly dreams of wanting to die. He is not interested in this dunya and doesn't want to live anymore. Thoughts of suicide are constantly on his mind, and he asks dua for death many times a day. He wants to know what he can do to change. What advice would you give him? Barakallahu feekum.
Well, fikum barakallah. A question from the Ukraine, Kharkov, Ukraine says, in brief, there's a brother who constantly thinks about death, who has suicidal thoughts. He doesn't want to live anymore. What advice could you give? That's the question, correct?
Yeah.
First of all, is the Prophet ﷺ, he forbade us from seeking death because of problems. لا يتمنين أحدكم الموت بضر نزل به. The Prophet tells us, do not wish for death because of dur, because of harm that comes your way. Major problems in life. Now, there's no point in me living anymore. No, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. Muslims not to do that. If it's some good, if it's bad, if it's a trouble, if it's a fitna, be patient with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's first and foremost, is you shouldn't seek death because of a hardship. As far as if a person just doesn't like living anymore and they want to die fi sabilillah, they want to be a martyr, that's a different story. That's a different story. However, that which I understand from this question, and Allah knows best, it seems as if the person is depressed, is stressed, has a lot of anxiety, hurt, fear, and they don't want to live no more because of those worldly what? Problems. It's a simple mathematical equation. You have your sins, you have your life problems, no matter what they are. You stole, you killed, you raped, you cheated, you beat your mother, you threw, no matter what sin you made, no matter what sin that you made of atrocity, waliyadhu billah, Allah's forgiveness and mercy is bigger and greater. Everybody understand this? It's just that simple. Allah's mercy is greater than your disobedience. Allah's forgiveness is more than your sins. Period. People who came before you that did worse than you, greater, more horrible crimes against themselves and against others than you did, Allah forgave them. Allah guided them, and some of them became some of the best Muslims whose names we read and we study and we talk about to this day, the Sahaba al-Kiram, radiyallahu anhum. They killed, they murdered, they made shirk, first and foremost. They worshipped other than Allah, along with Allah. They buried their daughters, they did certain things, they drank alcohol, they were involved in prostitution, they robbed, they did this, they killed people, they murdered people. And look what they became. They became the best of the best. So therefore, Allah's forgiveness, Allah's mercy is greater than any sin that you can fathom and think about. Allah tells us, He says, go, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, go to my slaves, الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا. Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. O my servants who have wronged themselves, who have done evil, who have transgressed the boundaries, أسرفوا على أنفسهم, not a little, but have what? أسرفوا, went way out of bounds. لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. Don't despair, don't lose hope from Allah's mercy, because Allah forgives all sins. Because Allah is Ghafurur Rahim. He's all forgiving. He's Ghafur. Limitless forgiveness. And He is Rahim. He's the most merciful. No one is more merciful than Allah. Wa rahmati wasi'at kulla shay. Allah tells us, my mercy, wasi'at, has enveloped all things. The Prophet ﷺ tells us that Allah Azza wa Jal, He has ordained, inna rahmati sabaqat ghadabi. He says that my mercy has preceded, outstretches my wrath, my anger. So there's nothing that you can possibly do that someone didn't do in the past and they were forgiven by Allah Azza wa Jal. If you commit suicide, you're only going to make your problems worse. You're only going to make more pain and more hardship for the people that you're trying to get away from their pain and from their hardship, or alleviate them from pain and hardship. If you kill yourself, what's going to happen to you in hereafter? What angels will take your soul? Where are you going to go? What's going to happen to you? Jannah, hellfire? What did the Prophet tell us about suicide? Poison, stabbing yourself in the belly, throwing yourself from a building. What did the Prophet tell us about suicide? That's first and foremost. Secondly is, what happens to your mother, your father, your friends, your wife, your girlfriend? What happens to the people that you leave behind when your son walks in, your mother walks in to check on you, to bring you your breakfast in the morning, and she sees your body lying on the floor with blood everywhere? Or you're hanging from a pipe, or pills, a whole thing of pills in your hand, and you're dead. What type of pain and hardship are you going to put those people in? So just think about the consequences of what? Of suicide. And realize that shaitan is an enemy. He wants you to commit suicide. He wants you to ruin everything, to end your life because of the problems that Allah has the ability to make right and to mend. And He does not. So that's my nasiha, is to read the Quran, read about Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, read about Prophet Ayub, read about Musa, read about Muhammad, read about the prophets and the trials and the tribulations that they went through and how Allah was with them. He helped them, He supported them, and وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Musa told his followers, the Jews, he said, the aqibah, the last round, the final decision of the fight is for the muttaqeen. Pharaoh is bigger, he's stronger, he's killing, he's oppressive, he is taking the boy children, and so on and so forth. إِنَّ الْعَاقِبَةَ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. The aqibah is for the muttaqeen. Fear Allah, put your trust in Allah. Allah will save us from Pharaoh, one way or another. One way or another. And look what happened with Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, with the magicians, with the Red Sea. Allah totally vanquished Fir'aun in the army of Fir'aun because he put his trust in Allah Azza wa Jal, and he knew that the outcome was for Allah, even if it's a bit bumpy in the beginning of the road. So you have to read the Quran. Don't be by yourself. Avoid isolation. Go to the masjid. Go to your families. Stay away from being by yourself if you're feeling suicidal. Do not live by yourself. No matter who you have to go around. Go anywhere. Instead of you being what? By yourself. Because that's going to lead to more suicidal what? Thoughts. Good companionship. Wallahu a'lam. May Allah guide you and bless you.